So guys, as we all do know, year 4 is coming up pretty fast and we will probably end up knowing more stuff about it in September. And I didn't want to go predict every single car, as we do know every single update will end up bringing cars in. I mean, it's a racing game, so cars are kind of part of the updates. But what I did want to talk about though is features I think the game could really use at this point, especially going into year 4, which is kind of insane this game has actually been out this long. Now, we all do know that year 4 is probably going to be a big update, as well. We all do know every previous type of year update did end up bringing something insane. We did end up getting Maui that one update with the chase squad, and I would probably say year 4 is probably not going to be any different, man. I mean, I'm predicting we could end up getting some new islands in the game. That's probably something that could happen. But you all know what, though? I really do hope if we did end up getting some islands in the game, man, they actually make them really cool and fun, but also part of the maps, though, where you can enjoy them. What I mean by that is actually put races in there, guys, because we all do know it's currently a 3-month season that they are doing now, which they did end up talking about in that one showcase, to where every single season is now 3 months. My only issue and concern with that, though, is if we were to get some new islands, they're probably going to look very cool, and a lot of players will end up getting hyped up. My issue, though, is if they do end up only releasing one playlist, though, each island might end up getting 2 to 3 races, maybe or so each. Then the other races will probably tie into the other map parts, so, like Oahu or something like Maui. As even Maui still has a lot of areas for off-road in different places. They could easily add a bunch of rally races and also off-road races, but they're not. So if they were adding some islands that are focused on off-road, which was like a big rumor from years ago that they could do, as the one island on top left part of the map is kind of focused on off-road, if you know what I'm saying. But the issue I find with that, though, is if we were to get a new island and they did end up adding like 2 or 3, maybe 4 or so races on it, guys, I kind of think that could end up being an issue, especially if they end up drip feeding all the events again. I kind of hope they don't keep doing that, as we'd have a new island, or even if they add a few of them or something, we could have new island or map expansions, but they would end up essentially being empty for a long time, because they're not ever going to really have enough races with how they're doing the playlist design. It's something I kind of wanted to talk about, man, because having that stuff added would definitely help the overall update and get players even more hyped up if there is more stuff to do, and not just like a few hours of races, then players drive around the islands and go, okay, what do I do next? Because there's not much there. There's no permanent game modes that we're seeing right now, guys, something I've talked about that I really think Motorfest could use in year 4 besides all that island stuff and all that. We could definitely have some more game modes. Would honestly be wonderful to see in this game, guys. I would love it. Something else with PvP. Get rid of Demolition Royale, man. I don't know why that is still a thing. Get rid of that and add something else in there. It could be any type of game mode that would mix up the overall features of the game and just make things a little more interesting, dude. I would love to see that, because Motorfest at the end of the day has a great foundation and a lot of potential that can be done with it, but the issue is I feel like it's really being held back. The thing is, though, I don't know if that's from maybe they don't have a lot of developers on the game. Maybe they have most of the team working on the crew 4 now, so maybe it's like a skeleton crew getting the updates out on Motorfest, so they can only do so much stuff like that. Maybe that's why we're not getting a lot of the features or things players are looking for. I would personally love to see more stuff with the PvP side of the game, and it's kind of wild. I even say that, as I would love to see more progression with that and things to unlock and different things to actually do, but it turns out, guys, we did end up getting the entire rank system, which players are kind of tired of. And yes, if we did end up getting more map expansions, I would say GRs would go to the new maps or have races over there. But again, there's only so much you can actually do with those that would keep players engaged if there's not a ton besides that, with the same rewards that we're seeing in the rank system and all that, and the same rewards that we have been seeing, whether it's like a title and some money and some things players probably don't care about all that much. I hate to say this, but there probably is just not enough rewards to be spread out across everything, so in ways they pretty much have to reuse things or put stuff in there just to fill it up, as it's probably super easy to make a title with a little ribbon saying "good job, racer" instead of anything else, which we all do know is faster, and kind of everything does have a title in there. And you know what, speaking of that, though, this brings me into my next thing. I would love to be able to use other vehicles and have a better vehicle variety of races in the game, guys. What I mean by that is I don't want to keep seeing street and hypercar slop everywhere. Yes, I do know people enjoy those, and it's mind-blowing to me that a lot of players are looking to have more cars added. Like, that's cool, but if you really do want a Lamborghini SVJ, bro, you might have fun for, like, maybe a couple of days or a week, and then guess what? You will end up moving on to the next car that you would love because there's just simply not enough to keep you engaged in the game, and there really is not enough to do with those cars. I would personally love to see more events hitting the classes that we don't get to see a lot of. That really does make the crew unique compared to every other racing game. More plane races, more boat. I would love to see the bikes actually get fixed and see those be better. I would love to see more races for rally and off-road. Even some proper monster truck and also some demolition derby stuff would honestly be pretty dang fun to see again. And I really do think that would help a lot in year 4, seeing them kind of go into different classes and increase that variety. Because at the end of the day, that variety would also help the summits and the events and making things more interesting in there. And then also making more classes being used, guys. I don't know, just something I kind of think about. We all have talked about this. It's something I did want to mention, as I feel like in year 4 going into this game, we have a lot more games on the horizon and different things coming. We have BeamNG coming. We also have GTA 6. We got Clutch next year. We have Hot Wheels in September. I would probably guess there's other racing games that have not been announced that could also end up coming out. And I'm kind of interested to see how that does end up doing, as we do not want like the bare bone type of things. You know what I mean? A lot of players probably do want more things to be added, better systems, better multiplayer designs in this game. And at this point, being into year 4 here, if it doesn't happen in this season, guys, or in this entire update that's coming in year 4, I would almost say we're probably never going to actually have better PvP stuff or better rewards or any of that stuff if you are looking for it, or an overall big vehicle variety of events. I just, honestly, if it doesn't happen, I don't know if it ever will. We may have to wait for the next game to also come, then that one would end up doing it. Now, speaking of that, though, one of my predictions with year 4, which is kind of one of my concerns on top of it, is you all do know we will probably end up getting a year 4 pass, which will probably end up having some cars in it. Super shocking there, but I kind of wonder if they will end up having other things in this pass this time. Like, if we did end up getting a new island or some other stuff, could those be in the pass, bro? Is that possible? Would they lock something like that in a pass or something? I'm kind of wondering. Maybe you can't do anything on the island similar to the other updates we've seen, where if you don't buy, or it's like the playlist is part of that, or maybe they add a second playlist that's part of the pass, and then if you don't do those, then you don't get the races on the island. Something like that I could definitely see, but another $30 pass in this game is going to be kind of wild to see, guys, as I'm going to be real. The previous year pass was honestly pretty awful. It was just, the price of it, everything about it was absolutely insane. A lot of people have talked about the passes in general being kind of expensive with not a lot of stuff to do. And I'm kind of wondering how they will end up taking this approach now with year 4. Like, are we going to see a similar design to those? Will they end up locking islands to it? I'm honestly super curious. And do let me know what you all think about this, as I really am wondering. But the other part of it, though, is we did end up seeing that $20 car that was added, and that honestly blew my mind, guys. I never thought ever that Motorfest would stoop that low to have like a $20 car that glows in the game. I was mind blown when I actually saw that thing. I could not believe it. I was like, wait, do we really have a $20 glowing car that's essentially the Chase Squad? Similar to that, but it's kind of like a little bit different, and it's 20 bucks, man. I was making fun of test drives so much for this, and now Motorfest did it, and they also did it worse, which is wild. But the crazy part is, I could see them adding more of these cars in year 4, which is also concerning. Now, one of the biggest things I think about, though, is we all do know they're probably going to show some stuff for year 4 that will end up making players hyped up and happy, as a lot of people did that with year 3 when we got the NASCARs and stuff like that. But also, not too long after, maybe a week or two into it, or even less than that, maybe less than a week, players were already kind of bored and looking for other things to do, and they don't want to go do GRs as they've already been doing those. So I really do think year 4 could be a great time to introduce some type of PvP mode that's different, guys. And I really don't understand why they haven't done it. I do know the argument of, well, it would take players away from GRs. Well, yes, but it would also give players something new to do and not the same type of races that they have been doing literally for over 3 years now. I think having a new type of PvP mode would be so dang dope. Maybe add some cool rewards in there, some additional things you can get that will bring players into there. I think that would be pretty awesome. And it really does kind of make me wonder, though, because we're going into year 4, guys. A lot of the requests and different things and some of the fixes players have been looking for did take some time to fix, and also some of that is still not fixed correctly. There are still broken playlist challenges literally 3 years into the game, which is honestly just wild to me. Hopefully those will end up getting fixed one day. That would probably make a lot of players happy, especially because they could complete the stuff that is in the game there. But guys, I gotta say, I really do hope year 4 is more positive for this game than previously, because I'm gonna be real, Motorfest has been an absolute desert, and I think a lot of people would agree with that. Like, the overall 3-month season thing got me excited, then I saw what they were doing, and I instantly kind of lost my excitement. Getting 4 races in the beginning, then every single week we get 1 race for the next 3 months. That is not going to keep players engaged, and in fact, I think it will make players lose engagement besides the summits, as they're basically obligated to do those if they want the cars. If there wasn't for the car, a lot of people probably wouldn't even bother doing them because there's not really a point. But the thing is, though, I will hold on to some hopium here and really say that maybe year 4 could change some of that stuff and bring even more content and different things that we have been looking for the past 3 years. You know what? I really do hope it actually happens, man. It would be so dang dope. But here's the thing, though. If they are following the entire route of how Season 10 was, if I'm being 100% honest, I am genuinely concerned if that's the route they will end up taking with every single season, as that means we could end up getting less playlists. People are like, well, they can focus more on them. At the end of the day, though, it's still one playlist with maybe 8 to 10 events, sometimes a little bit more, would probably not be enough to really keep players engaged in the game. And we are clearly seeing that right now. A lot of people are like, well, that's not true, Block. There's still stuff to do. Well, to be real, there really is not a lot of stuff to do. People don't want to do GRs, and when they get excited for an update, they only have 4 races, then everything else is drip-fed, including the cars that go out that entire 3 months. So there really is not a lot of stuff to do there in the beginning of the seasons, which I gotta say is kind of a big problem, guys. Like, if they're gonna really pursue this and probably make it this way, which it's kind of clear that they are, I really do think it kind of worries me a little bit for the future of these updates, as I kind of am expecting more of these things, better variety. You know, hopefully somewhere we'll get more PvP stuff or some type of game mode somewhere, and then maybe some new rewards tied to cars or some other cool things we could go after. But the way they are distributing these updates, I really don't know if that stuff is going to happen. And the thing is, I kind of think a lot of players are in a similar boat after Season 10, because I have seen so many people actually say the game is way more dry now than it ever has been. And if they're following this pathway of updates, we will end up getting hyped and stuff for a little while, see the new stuff they're adding, the bigger expansions, whatever the paid stuff is in year 4. We will end up probably getting excited, but not too long after, we will all ask the exact same question we've been asking the previous 3 years, and that is simply, what do we do next after we complete some of this stuff? I mean, it's been everywhere. I've been seeing way more people talk about it. But do let me know what you guys think in the comments below. What do you guys hope to see in year 4? I really do hope they take a bigger step here, at least on Ubisoft's end, to really do some different things with this game. And the big thing is, maybe they won't, because they have the whole team on the next game, so we might not even end up getting some of the crazy things that we really do want. The last thing I want to say, though, is my bold prediction for this entire year 4 is we are finally going to get a really cool update to the summits. I'm having some opium here, and we will end up seeing some type of PvP mode or some type of multiplayer mode added. Again, guys, let me have some hopium. And then we also do know the year 4 pass is probably coming. My biggest thing with that is I hope it will be a little bit better, and it's not going to actually have some crazy stuff in it that will end up frustrating players. Do let me know what you guys are hoping for. What are some of your big predictions that you hope to see in year 4?